So I came across this video and it it pissed me off beyond belief. I'm just gonna play it here, and I'll play it, and then we'll talk about it. Damn it!
All that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, 'Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. Here's a GoFundMe link. Any donations help.'" I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same fuck-ass message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. And you think that influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you. Why would I ever help you? You're not a fan. You don't even follow me. You've never supported me. This is your first time DMing. And you think that I'm going to send you money because you lost your job? Oh my God, welcome to the real world, sweetheart. People lose their jobs every fucking day, and you're white, pretty, and able-bodied. You're in a much better position than a lot of other people out here who are trying clearly much harder to make a better life for themselves. Why would I fucking help you? Aside from that, 17,000 people lost their jobs at Spirit Airlines. Why do you think you need the GoFundMe? I can at least 1% respect the mentality of closed mouths don't get fed, doesn't hurt to try. But honestly, it does hurt to try because now you pissed me off. Okay, I'm not the one. Go find fucking Mr. Reese. This is literally his entire shtick. I'm sure the next YouTube video is literally going to be like, "I rehired all 17,000 of the Spirit Airlines employees, and it's going to be the real life Hunger Games. The last one of them to leave the Spirit Airlines plane gets to be the CEO of the new company and gets a house and a car and $10 million that everybody else dies." Go find that video to compete in, baby. I'm not helping you. I'm not fucking helping you. All you did was lost your job, okay? Welcome to the real world. I could at least understand if you were like, "James, I'm a longtime fan. Here's a trillion years of DMs and my support for you. I love you. I'm suffering with a really rare genetic disease that there is no cure for, and I'm trying to raise money for myself and other people that have this." Maybe I would help. Maybe I would help because I love you and I appreciate you. This bitch, you lost your fucking job? What are we gonna do? Nothing! I'm gonna do nothing. You know what you need to do? Go find a fucking new one, girl. Put some effort into the workplace.
All right, so this unhinged lunatic. First of all, I thought this was a trans. Apparently, it's not. What fell? I don't know what fell. Something fell. I thought this was a trans at first, right? I was like, oh great, another unhinged tranny, probably going to climb up on a building and assassinate a public speaker. I just this made me so angry. I wanted to slap the shit out of this fucking guy. I guess this guy. He still goes by James, from what I understand. So I'm probably gonna call it a guy. I mean, it's a dude. It's a dude. It's a dude that's famous for doing his makeup. Okay. The rant that this lunatic went on was completely fucking unhinged. And now this happened about a month ago. To have someone come to you and say, "Hey, you have a huge audience, you have a huge following. I'm in a shitty situation. Can you or somebody in your audience help? Here's a link to a GoFundMe." This is a pretty common thing that people do nowadays. I lost my job. It wasn't my fault. The company went under. I got canned when the company went under, and now I need help. It's people saying, I'm not trying to make $1 million off this, but I don't want to lose my home because I lost my job and it wasn't my fault. I lost my job because I was out driving drunk. Okay, I lost my job. That's on me. I lost my job because Spirit Airlines shut down and I'm asking for help. And for this lunatic to be like, well, maybe if you were a fan for a trillion years and sent me DMs, maybe I would help. Like he's God or something. Like, what kind of awful human being are you to just berate and belittle someone who's simply asking for a hand. Like, I mean, this person wasn't like, you're rich, you owe me. This person was just like, hey, here's the link to my GoFundMe while I look for another job. Can you like post this so that maybe someone can help me out? It's literally not an unreasonable thing to do at all. And I'm sure all the more conservative people will be like, oh, well, if you're able bodied, you can go find a job doing anything. But I wanted to touch on some of the things that James Charles said. And one of the things James Charles said was, you're pretty, you're white, and you're able bodied. The woke, libtarded nonsense that came out of this dude's mouth blew my mind. The fact that you're going to sit there and say you're white so you don't deserve help, that boggled my mind. You're white. Why would I help you? Because we're both human beings? Because it's the decent thing to do if you have a huge following? You know, this is something that happens frequently. Now, I watch Timcast IRL regularly. I am a regular viewer. Almost every night I watch. Well, I watch the next day, but whatever. And this is something that happens pretty regularly. Hey, I was working at the steel mill. Steel mill shut down. I started to GoFundMe while I looked for another job. You know, I don't really have any skills that transfer over to anything else. So I started to GoFundMe while I try to find some entry level job somewhere and start over. And, you know, that's something that Tim will shout out regularly. Or, you know, my pet needs a surgery and it's ridiculously expensive. I don't want my pet to die. Can you help me out? It's a relatively common thing in today's society to see people come together and say, hey, I'll help you out. I have some empathy for your situation. I've been there. I'll give you a hand. And honestly, I wish I knew who the Spirit Airlines employee was, because even though my following's this big, I would post the link. I really would. So, Spirit Airlines lady, if you see this, shoot me that link. Shoot me a message on Instagram or whatever, and I will post that link for you everywhere. I will post it all over the place. But I digress. This human being, James Charles, says, "Oh, you know, you're white and able-bodied and pretty. You don't apply for the victim card. Okay, you didn't. You're here coming to me to apply for the victim card, and you're white, and you're pretty, and you're able-bodied. No, you don't get the victim card. You're white. White people don't get the victim card. Pretty people don't get the victim card. People that are able-bodied, they don't get the victim card. How dare you come to me and ask for the victim card? I'm a potentially trans guy that does fucking makeup tutorials like a little homo with my pointy little fucking fingernails, my little Lee press-on fucking pointy fingernails. What you are is you're a fucking fruitcake, okay? And if I ever saw this person in public, I wouldn't allow children near him. If I was out with young children, I'd be like, yeah, let's go somewhere else. Let's go away from this fucking weirdo, because this fucking James Charles is an unhinged psychopath who thinks the world revolves around him, and he thinks that his shit don't stink. He said, well, you could have been, in the time you wrote this fuck ass message, you could have sent out 100 job applications. How do you know that they didn't send out 100 job applications and this fuck ass message was their last resort? How do you know? You know, occasionally I'll peruse through Indeed or whatever, and I'll look, even though I've been at the same job for a couple years, I'll look and see, have wages gone up? If I find a job that pays significantly more, I'm going to put in an application, especially if I'm doing the same or similar work to what I'm doing right now. You know, I'll put in an application. Not because, oh, I'm disloyal, but because, I mean, if they're going to pay me more, they're going to pay me more. The number of jobs and the quality of jobs has dropped so much, and especially, I'm sure, for someone who's put their their livelihood into the airlines business. I mean, that's a very particular job that probably doesn't have a lot of crossover into other jobs. I drive a truck. Well, that can translate into other stuff. That could translate into machinery. That could translate into, instead of a semi, I can drive a pickup truck with a trailer, and I could work for a landscape company, or I drive a big semi dump truck. Well, I could get hired somewhere on a construction crew driving a smaller dump truck. Things like that. I mean, there are some transferable skills there. There's some general maintenance that we do on the trucks that could transfer over into working on trucks or being a shop helper or something, on top of just I work on all my own things. But I digress. The line of work I'm in, there's a lot of little branch outs where I kind of get the gist, and I could start here and at least have a somewhat of a base of understanding. If you've been in the airline industry, assume this woman's been a stewardess for the past 5 years or whatever. There's only a couple of jobs I can think of that a stewardess could just jump right into, as far as, like, maybe housekeeping at a hotel, or helping with people at a nursing home, or something along those lines. There's not really a huge, like, she can't go be a mechanic. She could probably be a receptionist somewhere. Like, there's a handful of jobs, yes, but to sit there and say, like, well, you could go work harder. Did you consider that? You could go do more work instead of sitting on your ass sending me fuck ass messages. What a shitbag. What an absolute asshole this person is. And then the James Charles, not the person that got fired. I am empathetic towards the person that got fired. I've gotten fired a lot. Believe it or not, I've gotten fired from a lot of jobs. Okay, from arguing with people, fighting with people, to just saying fuck you, I'm not doing it. I ain't dealing with your bullshit today, and ignoring things that I was told to do. I'm a bit of a hard head. I'm a bit of an asshole. I've been fired quite a few times, okay? Every time I've been fired has been my fault. Been my fault 100% of the time. I got fired for carrying a gun in a building that was clearly marked no guns. My fault. I don't regret it. I would still have, if I was still working at that job, I would still carry every day. I don't regret it. I'm upset that I lost that job. It was a great job, but I digress. This person didn't do that. This person lost their job because the company went bankrupt. So everybody jumped on James Charles, and everybody, told James Charles what a piece of shit he is. And so this is his response to this little video that he made, this little 2-minute berating that he made towards this woman. And I'm not going to play this whole thing because it just makes me angry. But, like, look at this bullshit. It's him in a fucking hotel room, sitting there complaining about his life. Oh, my life's so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, you're not.
Airlines, and she sent me a message. Yesterday morning, I posted a video on this account talking about how a woman had lost her job at Spirit Airlines, and she sent me a message with a GoFundMe link asking me to.
What is this fucking fake gay voice? What is this fake woman voice? Like, look at the shot. This is a very feminine shot. Like trying to look like a girl. You got the gay voice going on. I really believe this person's a fucking tranny.
Donate. And the video is basically me yelling at the camera, being super upset and frustrated because this person had never followed me, never supported me before. And it was clear that she had basically copied and pasted this DM to every influencer and celebrity she possibly.
So still defending your actions. You're still defending your actions here. This whole first 20 seconds, it has been, you're defending your actions. And you're upset because this person probably did copy paste that message to every single person that has a big enough following that they think would help. Yes, and I would too. You're an awful person.
Asking for a handout, and I called her lazy. I said she was stupid, and I said she should have spent the time that she spent copying and pasting the message applying for jobs instead. This video was fucking stupid. It was rude, it was obnoxious, it was privileged, and most importantly, it was completely fucking unnecessary.
Okay, and there we have that magical language again. It was rude, it was obnoxious, and it was privileged. I misspoke with my white privilege. I'm a white privileged person. Oh, my liberal mentality comes out again as I fake gay voice you the whole way through this apology that I don't really mean. These people piss me off so much because they're so phony. It is so fake. Okay, this whole thing is, oh shit, I lost subscribers. I gotta say something. Let me hit all the woke talking points so that they remember that I'm woke, so that I don't get canceled. Because if they think for 1 minute that I'm not woke, I'm gonna get canceled.
When I saw that DM, I absolutely had the choice to ignore it and say absolutely nothing at all and move on with my day. But instead, I couldn't even tell you why. Her message just triggered me, and I decided instead
Boom, there it is again, triggered.
to make a video about it. And I bashed her, and it was obnoxious, and I shamed her for asking for help in a situation where she was clearly really struggling, and this could have been her absolute last resort. I have no idea what was going on in her life, and I should have never assumed that she was just caught.
Okay, I can't listen to this guy talk anymore. You get my point. You get my point. This is a horrible human being. The fake gay voice drives me up the wall. I can't fucking listen to it. It just the fake. Oh, I'm a girl. Listen to me talk. I sound like a girl. I'm so girly. Oh, I'm a girl when I talk. Oh, no, you're not. You're a fucking gay guy. Okay, you're gay. That's all it is. You're gay. You like dick. It's fine. Just say that you're gay and stop doing the voice, okay? That shit drives me nuts. That shit drives me up the fucking wall. If you're gay, that's fine. Just say that you're gay and talk like normal people. The effeminate fucking, hi, I'm gay, that voice drives me up the fucking wall. And all this dude does is a fucking an adaptation of that to just annoy the fuck out of people and then be an awful person and then use, oh, but I got the gay voice as a fucking, you can't be mean to me because I might be gay or trans or whatever it is this fucking week. Whatever the magic term is this week that they're going to use. Fucking pansexual this or fucking transsexual that or whatever the fuck they want to be this week. Just because you want to bang a toaster doesn't mean you get to run around being a cunt to people. Okay? I can't stand people like this. They use their wokeness and their liberalness as an excuse to just be an awful human being. And I can't stand it. And all this apology is him sitting here saying, oh, it's because I was triggered. I'm not actually apologizing, but I'm using the proper words. So you think I'm apologizing because you're stupid. I'm still better than you. You're all fucking idiots. Okay? Nobody's as good as me. I'm fucking James Charles in this bitch. You're a fucking loser. I'm rich because I'm a gay dude that puts on makeup. You're broke because you're too stupid to pretend to be gay on the internet. That's all this is. That's all it is. And I saw this and it just really pissed me off because this is just a horrible person just being awful. And it just irked the shit out of me and it bothered me down to my soul and I wanted to complain about it. So you get to listen to me complain. Or you clicked off the video and no one's going to hear me complain. That's an option too. I don't really give a shit either way. But yeah, I think James Charles is just a terrible person. Just awful. Just awful for that. And I don't have a problem disparaging someone if they're terrible. Okay, I don't have a problem calling them a homo or a fag or a retard. And you know what? James Charles is a fucking retard. 100% James Charles is a retard. It's retarded behavior to act like a fucking gay person. Or maybe he is actually gay, I don't know. But to put on this fucking over the top extra persona so that you don't get canceled for being an awful person is just retarded behavior. Just don't be a terrible person. And I'm sure there's some leftist out there that'll be like, you called him a fag, you're a Nazi. Right there. That's what I think about you. I don't care what you have to say. If you're going to come at me and say, oh, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you're a bad person because you called him a fag. Right there. That's what I think. I don't care. I think people that act like this deserve to be disrespected. If you act like a shitty fucking person all day, every day, and you wig out on someone for asking, not even the part that fucking pisses me off is the DM wasn't saying, "Hey, you're rich, you should give me money." Like there's some commie. They were like, "Hey, you have a large following, and I was hoping that if I gave you this link for my GoFundMe, you would share the link with your large following, and maybe somebody would help me out." It wasn't you owe me because you're rich. It wasn't you owe me your following because you have a following. It was just simply like, you have a big following. Would you help me out? You're huge. Would you help me out? And that's something that people do all the time. That's the whole premise of the movie Shark, or of the TV show Shark Tank. The whole premise of Shark Tank is, you have a ton of money, you know all these investors. Here's my business idea. Can you help me out? That's all this person was doing. Is, I'm in a bad spot. I need money. I'm looking for a new job. Can you help me out by sharing this link to my GoFundMe, and maybe someone will donate a little bit and I can keep the lights on. And instead, James Charles chose to tear this person down and tell them what a fucking loser they are, and then put out the most half-assed apology I've ever heard. Fuck you, James Charles. You're a piece of shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you all in the next one.